In this presentation, we're going to design a content strategy that works with the concept of repurposing. So, in short, we're going to design and create a content strategy with purpose blueprint. So let's have a look at what content is. Well, for me, it's stuff. In my years of teaching knowledge management, we always said it was stuff you can lick. Well, you know, you've got blogs and articles and ebooks, videos, books, courses, sales collateral. Some of it you can lick, some of it you can't. You can't lick a video, but you get what I mean. So it's tangible stuff that you can do something with. Now, what is wonderful about the information age is people are looking for great content, and when they find great content, they're going to want to stick around with you. So it's going to help you to generate leads, and it's also going to help you to build your brand. So what's the strategy? There are so many definitions of strategy. I always think very, very simply, it's a plan, a way of getting from A to B, a way of achieving our outcomes. It's a guide, a blueprint, a roadmap, steps to doing stuff, you know, so you've got milestones all along the way. But it's also a way to utilize your resources, so things that you've got, stuff, skills, and other resources. So when we start this content journey, we're literally going on a plan, going on a journey that's going to create a plan that takes us from A to B. And repurpose, quite simply, is we're going to adapt our stuff and use it in a different way. So if we've got a video, we can get that transcribed, it can become a blog. If you've then got a series of videos and a series of transcriptions, you could turn them into a course with a bit of planning. You could turn an ebook into a lead magnet, an email autoresponder where you have upsells. You can turn that ebook into a mini course, a live challenge, videos and blogs, and lots more besides. The way I look at stuff is if you're going to create something, then it's looking at the bigger picture and saying, how do I use it in lots of different ways so that I'm not doing this. Too many pieces of content that aren't focused and aren't connected. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that each piece of content we create works harder for us and it fits with the bigger picture of what we're trying to do. Now, if you're looking at this presentation, if you're anything like me, you have got zillions of bits of content. And honestly, I used to beat myself up. I used to think, why am I creating that? I'm sure I've got something on my hard drive or one of my many hard drives somewhere. I don't do that anymore. I do everything with purpose, because my days of sitting and creating are over. I need to find something or find lots of somethings and make it so that it has a proper focus and I can use it properly, more efficiently. So what we're really looking at is the strategy, the big picture. So I'm just going to talk about something that might be typical for you to do. So you might want to launch perhaps a new program, a book, a course, or some kind of network. So for me, this is my bigger picture. I've got a whole pile of stuff that I want to do. So at the point of making this presentation, not everything is created. It's all brand new. But it is for me a way of saying, how do I make sure that I create all of this stuff in the most effective and efficient way possible? So the question is what do you want? Are you doing something like launching something brand new? Are you rebranding something that you've already got? I guess everybody wants to attract new prospects. You know, you might want to upsell stuff to existing customers, build your mailing list, build your following, become known for something. But my guess is at some point in your business journey, you're going to want to do all of these things. So my first question is, when you're creating something, who is it for? So we've all got this idea of who our ideal client is, and you will have gone through, you know, that whole niching process, drawn your avatar, and then somebody who you least expect comes along and buys your product, and you're sitting there scratching your head going, I thought I defined my audience. So we can get as close as we possibly can, and I think this is a process of doing the best that we can, you know, nailing it down and seeing what happens. And everything in life is about feedback. I know that I have defined my audience as women, and then a whole load of men turn up, and I think, how did that happen? So we have to start somewhere. So who is all of this content for? And of course, the next question is where do they hang out? Now, I keep my platforms to just a couple. I have in the past been on practically everything, and you can't keep it up, and it really, really doesn't work. So for me, it's LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And I do tailor my messages for those platforms because each of those platforms work in a different way. What I want to do is I want to look at my marketing plan. So what's in the plan? What am I selling? And I have a strategy that says sell one thing at a time. So my big picture is an 8-week program, and I've got a couple of shorter things that I put together that takes people on a journey. So I have journaling through the chakras live, which I run in my Facebook group, and then I run something completely separate, which is a 5-day journey to the center of your heart. So what's in the plan? Go and review your marketing plan and just get that right before you set on this content strategy and repurposing journey. So we need a roadmap. We talked about a roadmap, you know, it's our strategy. Where are we going and how are we going to get there? And what kind of stop-off points and milestones? So if you're familiar with project planning, you need to have things chunked down and know where the milestones are, where you can celebrate, who's going to do what and when are they going to do it. My philosophy in life is chunk it down. I am fantastic at creating and generating lots of ideas. And I do that. I like to get everything out, and I like to build this roadmap, and then I go, what is the first thing I can do? And here's my other strategy, is I don't make everything perfect. So whatever I'm doing, I do enough to get it up and running. And then I come back and amend it once I've got some feedback. I used to try and make everything perfect, and it just takes forever to launch things. So we do it in chunks. Everything is chunked down. So what do you want in terms of content? You know, do you want to be a published author? Do you want to create courses and programs? So do you want, you know, ebooks and books and videos and courses and social media content? What is on your big list of stuff that you want to put out there for people to find and to be attracted to you? So we're going to start off with the big picture. So my first big picture is something brand spanking new that I want to create. I write books. I help other people to write books. And I always look at a book as not a one thing. I look at it as a piece of core content that can be repurposed in many, many different ways. And so one of the things I do with my clients is to say, you know, when we start this book journey, what else can this book become? It's not just about the book. It's about what you can create in the world and how you can build your brand. So first of all, a book helps me to create the content for my program. When I run the program, it lets me test my content, and what I then might discover from the feedback is I've got different content or new content for my book. I like to kind of test and tweak things. So in the case of the book called The Journey of the Heart, I'm actually at the point of saying this, I've got 70,000 words, which is way, way, way too much. So I need to hone that down and cut some stuff out. But by turning that content into a program and testing it via a beta test program, I can make sure that I can make it a little bit more succinct. Now, each part of that program could become a separate course. So the journey of the heart program is split into a number of sections because we're taking the heart on a journey through our different energy systems. So what I could choose to do is make a mini course from each energy system and then bundle it together to make a program. Well, you might have guessed that's probably what I am doing. I also write journals so that all of the journaling prompts and exercises become journals. So, you know, I can take my book and create a program and a course. So they're the bigger picture. That we're not granular here. We're not looking at the detail. Let's look at something that I already have. So I help people to write their non-fiction book. I have a book called Write Your Non-Fiction Book. So, it's actually called Plan Your Non-Fiction Book in a Weekend. I have a full course that takes people from no ideas all the way through to publishing on Kindle Direct Publishing. But my book over the years, and I published the book many, many years ago, has become blogs and videos and courses and programs. But for me, it feels like it needs a rebrand. So I have a lot of content, you know, I have my lead magnet, I have my email autoresponder, I have all of this stuff. And what I recently did is I went back through the course and brought it all up to date because, you know, external things like publishing platforms and stuff changes. But the blogs that I created probably about 7 years ago, or at least they started 7 years ago, I can pick each of those up and repurpose them. So this is a different way of looking at that content strategy and repurposing. So it's old stuff that needs a rebrand. So the first thing we do in either of those cases is we start with something called a knowledge audit. So a knowledge audit says you've got to go on the hunt. You know, what have you got? How useful it is? Then it's about doing a gap analysis and asking the question, do you reuse it or do you create from scratch? And only you will know. So what you might find is you've got all sorts of content. You can use a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of the other, or you can pick something up and rebrand it, slightly change it. It's really, really worth keeping a track of the things that you have. I've got stuff back donkey's years, and while it's not often relevant, some of the processes and things, when I look at them, sparks different ideas. So nothing is ever wasted. So when I look at what I've got, I had a journal called Journaling Through the Chakras. So straight away, I've got a piece of content that I can use as a lead magnet for my books. And actually for my Journaling Through the Chakras, I also have something called 101 Days of Being Me, which is an email course. It's a book of affirmations, it's blogs, it's all kinds of stuff. But for my books, I've got 101 questions to ask before you write a book. And I use these as the basis for blogs. And it's an email, a 17-part email autoresponder. You know, genuinely, over the years, since I've been self-employed, I've got a lot of stuff. You know, I've got a Writing to Heal journal. I've got my life story workbook that goes with a course on how to write your life story. I've got a book called The Power of Journaling ebook. I've got a lot of stuff. I've got even more than that. I've got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces of things. So I've got a library of information that I can use to repurpose in all sorts of different ways. So really, it's the reminder of what is the end goal with your content. So what do you want to sell? You know, what is the purpose of what you're doing, and who you're going to sell it to? So what's your end goal? Now, my invitation now is for you to go and get a piece of paper and draw a circle in the middle. I don't know if you're a fan of mind mapping. So really, do this in any way that works for you. When I look at my I do all of this in my journal. When I look at my journal, I have lots of circles with things going all over the place with arrows and all sorts of stuff. And it makes perfect sense to me. But what I do eventually do is I then take it and create a series of mind maps so that I can actually see it and make sense of it, and then create little mini project plans. So while I'm doing the next part of this presentation, I want you to brainstorm. So first of all, think about something that you want to sell. So on the back of this piece of paper, write down the big picture, the big thing that you want to sell. Who are you going to sell it to? Because why are you doing this? So when I go through this next lot of stuff, just open your mind, let that imagination flow through free. Don't discount anything. Just write whatever comes up, and whatever comes up is absolutely perfect, because you don't have to do it all in one go. You can do things in chunks, and hopefully it will inspire you to create a content strategy where you're repurposing content in a much more effective way. So what are my steps? So when I look at what I'm doing, the first thing I've got my book. I've talked about my book. So my book outline can become the ebook, the email autoresponder, some blogs and stuff like that. Likewise, my live program, the outline, it become, if you look at the end of the thing, it can become a challenge and a mini course. My course, when I've got that outline, I've got PowerPoint slides, I can make videos and turn the videos into blogs by getting them transcribed. My ebook becomes a little ebook. So I've got not a little ebook, a little book on Amazon, and out of that I do videos, create blogs and mini courses. So you can see, actually, the first bit of content was my book and my book outline, and it's become lots and lots of things. I never look at any of those bits and say, how do I recreate it from scratch? I'm literally taking things in chunks and looking at how do I repurpose those things that I've got. So let me remind you of the big picture. So this is called the Journey of the Heart, and the first thing that I'm going to launch is the live program. It's going to be launched as a beta program so that I get feedback, and from the beta program it becomes an online course. So that will be a course that I don't need to attend to, and it'll help me to finish my book. So there's my big picture. So here's the book. That's not the book cover, at least it isn't for the moment. I mocked that up for this particular presentation. So I always start with my book. For me, it's about creating that outline, getting all those ideas together. The outline is the journey that my ideal reader is going to take. And what I'll often do is I'll start writing the book, and then I'll take some of the content in the chapters and I'll blog it. And by blogging it, I look at it in a slightly different way, and it just helps me to do some, to refine and edit the content in my book, because I'm writing it in a slightly different way. Now, what I could have done is I could have written blogs and then turned that into the book. Everything for me has to have a purpose, and I have to be able to repurpose it. So let's go back to the fact that I want to sell this program. So the first thing I want a lead magnet. So I can write the outline to the program. I haven't created any of the content. I know what the content is, but I need to find the right audience. So for me, it's people that want to connect, open, heal their heart. They want to go on a journey to know what they want, to truly know what they want. They want to know how to get it. And they want to do what I call manifest magic. So it's really about who do we become on the way to getting what we want. And we take this journey through the chakras, except I call them energy centers. But my ideal reader, my ideal audience, my client understands the word chakras. So the lead magnet is called journaling through the chakras. So I start off and I write this in Microsoft Word, or you can use Google Docs or something else. I can create it from blogs that I've already got. So I go and gather this content. So this content for me came from a whole pile of journaling books and courses and stuff that I already had, and I just put it together in a slightly different way. So for my ideal client, it needs to offer value. So these are people that they want to go on this journey and really understand who they are and how to get what they want by working with the energy centers, but using journaling, which is so powerful to get some insights. So for me, it's I want to give the reader something that they truly want. This is a big ebook. It's packed with value, and it needs to be attractive to their problem, and it needs for me to help create some kind of a sales funnel. So I get my VA to repurpose it in Canva so that it looks pretty. So again, its value speaks to the audience. It's something I can reuse and repurpose, and it's relevant to what I want to sell. So if you've got your bits of paper, I just want to take you through what I've done or am doing with my lead magnet. So I've got my lead magnet. It's become an email autoresponder. So when I first did that, my VA copied the content from the lead magnet, some of it, into my email system. And then what I've been doing is coming back and refining it and changing it and adding in upsells. But when I first did it, it was like, I need my lead magnet, I need my email autoresponder, and I need it to be done in the shortest space of time. For me, it's all about chunks. What I also then did is I got her to turn all of the journaling prompts into images for social media. I then write my own posts. So I might pick up a journaling prompt and think about something that has happened for the day and some other kinds of exercises and things that people can do. And I can use those posts then to turn them into blogs. I've turned the lead magnet into a little book on Amazon, because what I do with my little books is I make lives and videos. So I flick through the book like it's a set of oracle cards, and I'll pick a prompt or a quote and I'll talk about it. And I'll link it to one of the energy centers or to something else. The lead magnet is also a 7-day challenge. 7-day challenge is a mini course, and I have blogs. I write the blogs, I turn them into videos, I do the videos, I turn them into blogs. Okay, sounds like a lot of stuff. So my biggest message to you here is you do everything in chunks. So, summary. Got my ebook, and I got all of those different things. So scribble, scribble, scribble. What ideas are coming to you? Remember, get everything down. You don't have to do it all, and you don't have to do it now. So I've got my ebook. It becomes my email autoresponder. I can link it to lots of other stuff and remind people to go back to the download page and download it where there's other upsells. So the thank you page is where we can add in our offers, and we can talk about the ebook and values and all sorts of things. I've got my images, and that gives me that opportunity to write posts and again build my brand, etc. with them. My VA has copied each of the things into my WordPress site. As I speak in this presentation, I have not written. I have lots of blogs on chakras and energy centers, but I haven't written any of these, and I will do at some point when it feels right for me. So I've got another set of blogs that I'm doing, but the blogs link to the lead magnet. Yeah. So what I do also do with my blogs is I'll have a blog, I'll create a video, and I send that to my email list. So everything is being repurposed. I have a 7-day challenge which I run in my free Facebook group, and this is the very first time that I'm running it. So I haven't run it as I speak when I'm doing this presentation. First time I run it, I actually, from the feedback that the people in the group give me, I turn it into a mini course. I also create little mini meditations I put on YouTube. I put the videos in my blogs, etc., etc. So you're getting a feel for it now. So the challenge becomes a course. Those videos I can put onto YouTube. I can tell people about the course and the challenge. I can put them in my blogs. So everything has a purpose. I also have turned the journaling prompts into a journaling book with blank, with lines on and stuff like that, and I put mandalas in it and things. So I use it in the courses, but I could equally use it as a lead magnet, and that takes people on a different kind of journey. Then I have the book. So here's the book. It's a bit of a work in progress, but that'll go on to Amazon. And like I said, I'll use it for my courses, my challenges. At the back of the book, I will tell people about all of the different things that they can sign up to. Everything has a purpose. So let's just remind ourselves what I've just talked about. And hopefully you've got lots and lots of ideas and things scribbled on your bit of paper. And I just want you to pause for a moment, because Rome is never built in a day. All of these things take time. You may not have a VA to help you. You may have to do it all yourself. You may not be a great writer. You might want to outsource stuff. For now, just get everything down. You can work out how to do it later. So let's just look at a few different ideas. We have the 7-day challenge. You can see from all of the things on my mind map what, all the ideas and things that I'm going to turn it into. So journaling through the chakras live is part of a sales process. It's blogs, it's courses, it's videos, it's meditations, it's a little, it's all kinds of stuff. So you can see there's my YouTube channel, and you can see some of the meditations and things I've got on there. And I stick these in my blogs and I post them in different groups. Yeah. Got some more ideas? Fantastic. And remember, we talked about the little book of journaling prompts for the chakras that goes on to Amazon. You know what I'm going to say. I've turned it into a whole pile of stuff. So there's my little book. We've talked about that. And you can do the same. You can do the same. So it's that chunking thing. Chunk it all down. Okay, let's take another pause. Scribble a few things down. Hopefully you're getting lots more ideas. So the book. I have a book. I always start with a book. And I can turn my book into a talk. I can turn it into a course, a program, and blogs. You already know that because I've said it a million times. But you could turn your signature talk into a book. You can turn your course into a book. You could blog your book, and you can turn your program into a book. Or you can turn your talk into a course, into a book, into blogs. Okay, you get the idea. Never, ever, ever take one piece of content and don't think you can't repurpose it. You can't do it all in one day, but you can certainly turn things around into all kinds of different ways. And the great thing about your signature talk is if you've got that as a recorded presentation, you can go and get it transcribed. And from the transcription, you just need to edit it and outline and format it. Job done. So every time you make a video, you can turn it into a blog. You can stick it on YouTube, Instagram TV if you use that. Series of videos. If you do your videos so they have a purpose, you can turn it into a mini course. But you only have to create one video and one blog at a time. And we talked about doing stories and posts on our social media, and from that we've got our images. Stories and posts become blogs, mini courses, put it on YouTube. Yeah, you need to take a breath again, don't you? I know. Do it all in chunks. So hopefully what you've done is you've got maybe 1 or 2 bits of paper with loads and loads of different ideas on, and your mind is exploding with possibilities. So what do we do next? Well, the way I like to work is I love good old-fashioned Post-it notes. So I would go and I actually do it on rolls of brown wrapping paper, so I can fold it all up and get it all back out again until I've got the journey all mapped out properly. So I would brainstorm with my Post-it notes. So you've already done that on your bit of paper. You've got the first lot of stuff out, and your brain, being the most amazing instrument that it is already looking for other connections. We do that knowledge audit so that we can find the stuff that we have. I would also do a systems review and look at what you've got and ask, is it fit for purpose? So if you've got an email autoresponder system that doesn't work for you properly, maybe now is the time to change it. If you're strapped for time, I wouldn't change any of your systems, but I would review them with a view to making sure that everything integrates. I come from the world of IT many, many years ago, and for me, integration is always key. And I love technology. Another one of my confessions, I've got all kinds of bits of technology, but what I've learned over the years is what a waste of time it is buying things because it's pretty. Yes, I buy pretty bits of software just because it's exciting, and then I think, God, that's a load of rubbish. Why did I spend that money? So for me, these days, everything simple and it integrates in some way. You need to do a skills audit. So what can you do? What can your team do? What do you want to outsource? You need to create that content roadmap with all your priorities and milestones and your resources. So thinking about that strategy, then turn it into a project plan. So what I like to do is I like to get my little mini mind maps. So I have a big picture, and then I do little mini mind maps, and each mini mind map is a project plan. You need to decide who's going to do what. If you don't like writing, can't write, but maybe you've got content and you want someone to pick it up and repurpose it, decide who's going to do it. You do not have to do everything. My VA is amazing. I give her stuff to do. So I do all the writing because I'm a writer. I've got a lot of skills, but there's a lot of things I don't want to do, and she is amazing. So I give loads of stuff to her, and she goes off and does all of that, and it just makes it a whole lot easier. And I am also lucky, I've been in business a long time. I have a lot of skills. I started life in the IT industry, so I know how to learn, software, and how to make things work and integrate. I write, I've made zillions of online courses. I've done lots of strategic stuff, exec coaching. I don't know what that's got to do with content re-strategies, but I've done a lot of stuff. So there's lots of things I can do, but it doesn't mean to say I'm going to take the responsibility for it. So decide what you're going to do, decide what you're going to outsource. So look for external resources that really, their values align with yours. They've got the same kind of work ethic, they understand your business, or they take the time. Make sure your software and your systems work for you and you've got the right things in place. You're not going to put something in and then come back and go, oh, why did I do that? It doesn't work with this. Everything has to integrate. So, if I've got a lead magnet, it's going into my email autoresponder. If I'm signing people up on a course, I want them on my email marketing system. So, I want everything to be in one place that I can manage it easily. So your task is, after all of that, identify your one piece of content, brainstorm it into what you can do, and come and find me, come and share with me. And you can find me in lots of different places. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm also on Instagram, and you can find me on daledarley.com. And I wish you loads of luck, and I know that you can take your stuff and turn it into something really, really useful with just, brainstorming, looking at that bigger picture, knowing who it's for, and taking a chunk at a time.